Over the years, labor unions have been a galvanizing force for mobilizing workers to press for government policies that are favorable to both workers and ordinary citizens. They have been a veritable catalyst for progressive social change and a partner in nation building. Given this obvious importance of the labor union and the influence they wield over Nigerian workers who are their members, there is no gainsaying the magnitude of impact they could bring to bear on the fight against corruption if they choose to. Our areas of focus today is on the Nigeria Labour Congress and the fight against corruption as we mark this year's International Workers' Day with the theme Social Justice and Decent Work for All. Welcome to Corruption Must Go, ICPC's weekly television program. I am your host, Murna Barnabas Atiayi. Do not go anywhere as we bring you details after our segment on anti-corruption stories with Joy Aja.
Hello viewers, thank you for staying with us. My name is Joy Aja with Anti-Corruption Stories. The chairman of ICPC, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu SAN, has assured the Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS that the commission will assist the agency to tackle cases of tax evasion and financial crimes in the revenue generating sector of the country. The ICPC boss gave the assurance at the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the two agencies at the Commission's headquarters. The ICPC chairman emphasized the importance of strategic partnership in the fight against corruption.
The issue of tax is something which we must work vigorously because the government needs tax so that there will be infrastructure development, and also as government agencies, the issue of that is the responsibility of all the government agencies to ensure that they remit that to the FRS, because that's what the government will use to work, and also is people are civic responsibility. And I want to assure you that we work closely. Whatever support the FRS needs will give you, and also work together and to ensure that we recover the tax so that the 1.9 trillion we said, we will try as much as possible to ensure that we have getting that target by working together. And we'll follow it up seriously, and also be monitored on end to ensure that on monthly basis, whenever they have their own interaction, I will be following to ensure that we achieve our goal by the end of the year of what we have targeted. And also I want to assure you, sir, whatever support others need from ICPC, we are willing and ready to give the support. And I thank you for this visit, and wish all the agencies all the best in this serious work which are committed to embark on.
The chairman of FIRS, Dr. Zach Adedeji, who led his management team to the signing ceremony, tagged it fostering of collaboration between the two agencies. He highlighted the role of tax compliance in building a more equitable society. The FIRS projected that it will generate 1.9 trillion naira as tax from public sector with the collaboration of ICPC.
The only way to continue in that collaboration effort is to make sure that we also do our parts, and we empower you to do your parts. So in this kind of collaboration and MOU we are signing today, it is like a working agreement between us, because there are a lot of things that will be needed by you to make sure you perform your work with optimum satisfaction that will also help us in return. And there are a lot that we also rely on because of your expertise, because of your mandate, that it is only you that you can do for us. And this is also promoting one government, as you've seen from Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that we are one government, one country. So this is also to testify to that kind of working relationship.
Under the MOU, The two agencies will establish a joint task force to coordinate their efforts and share information on cases of mutual interest. They will also conduct joint training programs to enhance the skills of their staff in investigating financial crimes and detecting tax evasion. That will be all on this segment. Corruption Must Go continues with Murna. Please stay with us.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back. This is Corruption Must Go. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, is known to have played very critical roles in the history of our nation, sometimes leading nationwide protests against draconian and anti-people government policies like the hikes in the prices of petroleum products and the calls for workers' rights to be fulfilled by government. Unarguably, labor remains an important element in any policy, program and project propagated for national development, including the fight against corruption. According to Veronica Nielsen, General Secretary of the Trade Union Advisory Committee, she said, and I quote, "Trade unions are central in the fight against corruption and bribery. Workers are well placed to expose wrongdoing but need adequate support and protection. Trade unions are in good position to advise and support whistleblowers and act as whistleblowers themselves." End of quote. We spoke with the Deputy General Secretary of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Ismail Bello, on his view of the subject matter.
Well, the first part is to say, what does labor stand for? First, labor creates wealth. That's our motto. And it's true. You can't generate wealth without the productive effort of people. That's where work begins. The second one is that what does organized labor trade union stand for? We stand for socio-economic justice. And you can't have prosperity. The wealth you create cannot be of any value, cannot be of any benefit if it is stolen, if it is wasted. You can't talk of justice, you can't talk of prosperity for larger number when a small segment of our people steal what we produce. So from that point of view, labor is clear that yes, we create wealth, and this wealth should benefit the largest number of our people. So in that regard, we support wholeheartedly the fight against corruption. The best way to fight corruption is to ensure that we do not create the room for corruption. And that's where our fight for fair wage, for good working condition, is also part of our fight against corruption. Because when you pay people fairly, you pay people adequate wages, you create the right environment for working people to thrive, and then people already know that if they do not take their work seriously, if they violate any segment of the law, whether in relation to management of resources or application of resources, they know the consequence. And they can relate that consequence to their own well-being, you know. But when you have a situation where people are paid like slaves, you may also not be able to screw them to comply with the right frame of rules. So we think the base is to ensure that people are paid fairly. And for us as labor, it also gives us the strength and the legitimacy to say, look, when people violate this law, when people go against financial appropriation and all of that, as labor, of course, we will say no. Everybody must face the consequence of his action. So, but what will give broad leverage for everyone is to have that fair remuneration. First, what you don't know that in labor, what you see of us, what you know of us, is that most times we're on the road, picketing, protesting, striking, issuing ultimatum, talking about resolution. We also do a lot of training. We do a lot of education for our people, from the shop floor to the highest level of the union. So we do that. We also do a lot of collaborative work. I know that we work with ICPC, we work with EFCC. And in our public engagement, we are clear that we are not sympathetic to anybody who is corrupt, whether he's a politician, whether he's a public servant, whosoever that person is. They cannot have the support or the sympathy of our own organization. But more important is that all in our activities, all in our engagement with our people from the shop floor to the highest level, those are some of the issues that we also discuss in our training and our sensitization activities in workplaces and across the organization.
No doubt, a major issue of concern among public servants and the labor movement is the issue of living wages for public servants. Concerned about it, ICPC, in collaboration with Michael Imodu National Institute for Labor Studies, recently organized a policy dialogue with the theme, Living Wages and Corruption in Nigeria. This is with the view to help curb corrupt practices in the public service. Our crew spoke with the Director General, Michael Imodu National Institute for Labor Studies, Comrade Issa Aremu. He tells us his view on how the Nigerian labor movement and anti-corruption agencies can work together to reduce corruption in the public service.
From the one, labor knows that there can be progress if the wealth produced by them is being frittered away by elected public officials. So I think to the extent that organized labor recognizes the fact that institutions like ICPC is important, I think we can say they've played their role. Then secondly, labor is, I can put it this way, to say workers are the beneficiaries of corruption-free society, to the extent that labor, the wealth created by workers, will not be stolen, will be used for development. And if you have good roads, it takes workers to work. If you have good roads, it also takes their children to school. It's along, so they are beneficiaries of corruption-free society. But they are also victims of corruption-ridden society. So I think labor also recognizes the fact that it's better that they remain as beneficiaries of corruption-free society rather than become victims of corruption-ridden society. ICPC leadership must engage labor so that because labor is well positioned, they have the voice, they have the visibility. So if you engage labor, they can be able to complement the effort of the ICPC. So to that extent, laborers can do more. But that also comes to the issue of the fact that labor cannot do beyond what they know. Yes, some of the figures you throw on the public domain, they are here. A lot of what you've done with enforcement, prosecution, and at times, what do you call it now? You also get some money paid back to public purse. That is fine. But I think the strength of the commission should be on the issue of prevention. Because they say prevention is better than cure, and prevention means that we need to promote more awareness at all levels, so that we know the danger that the money stolen cannot be made available for health, cannot be made available even for payment of salaries of the workers. And as I'm telling you, workers are mostly the victims of unrestrained corruption. And because you also find some state government are unable to pay minimum wage as miserable as they are, despite the fact that federal government had assisted them to give it what they call the bailout 1 and 2. I know there was a whole study done by CPC that shows the bailout giving have been diverted.
Yeah.
So it's in the self-enlightened interest of organized labor that the struggle against graft is not just for the commission. In fact, it's more for the labor, for the citizens as a whole, and labor is well positioned to do that.
As we commemorate this year's Workers' Day, our Corruption Must Go crew sought to know from some workers their roles in combating corruption and integrating integrity in their places of work.
My advice is actually for the workers generally to stick to the code of conduct guiding their work. When you join work, there are conditions of service and rules governing how you work in terms of your punctuality, dedication to duty, and of course not having conflicting interest in the way you discharge your duties. That is why public servants are even barred from partaking in other businesses except maybe agricultural activities that can earn them other streams of income. So dedication to duty and adhering to the core ethics of the profession you are pursuing or the work you are doing is critical. That is why condition of service or public service rules are expected to actually govern what we do, and we should be conscious of it. We should be educated about it, and we should be able to practice it. So that will make you an ethical worker.
To me, I think corruption can be eradicated in the public workspace by promoting integrity. One, you lead by example. And when you have integrity, it helps you to fight corruption. Then two, we also need to encourage whistleblower policy in our public workspace, because that has helped us to curb corruption in a way some persons now know that if you do something, people are there to say something.
The workplace as a public officer is for us to be able to follow the due process. We have ethics of the job, and we have rules and regulations, financial regulation. By the time we follow through all these legal instruments, of course, we'll be able to fight corruption by also living exemplary life. When you are contented, of course, you should be able to eschew every iota of corruption in our lives.
I think whistleblower policy, I feel like whistleblowers should be protected, because most times the reason why some of them don't report cases of corruption that they see in their workplace or in their environment is because they are scared, is because they are afraid. They don't know what will happen to them afterwards. So they actually don't like to report cases because they don't. Most of them can be fired from their jobs. Some of them can be kidnapped and all of those things. So most times they tend to just keep these informations to themselves instead of coming out to report to the public what they know and informations they have.
Okay, as a public servant, one of the ways you can fight corruption is to blow the whistle. When you see anything that is wrong in the office, do not say it's not my business. Just try and blow the whistle. Report to authorities, even if it is you don't have to be formal, just report and blow the whistle and it will be fought.
Corruption can be eradicated in workplace by strict adherence to the rules. The rules of every operations or public service says that you must resume by 8 o'clock. You resume by 8 o'clock, we are fighting corruption. The rule says you must do everything according to the rules of the public service rule. If you are doing that, there will be no need for corrupt practices. So by that, strict adherence to the rules is one way by which we can fight corruption.
I believe that corruption can be fought or minimized by attitudinal change, especially in many offices here in Abuja, so to speak, at the reception area, the way people attend to people. If you attend to people in the right way, do the right thing, whether somebody is watching you or not, you're fighting corruption. Corruption is not just exchange of giving and taking. So with that attitude, wearing a good attitude at the workplace, on that note, you are fighting corruption.
That's our package for today. Don't forget to be a beacon of integrity in your workplace. Make a conscious effort to join ICPC in the fight against corruption. Visit our website www.icpc.gov.ng and our social media platforms at ICPC Nigeria to learn more about our activities and to make your reports, inquiries, and suggestions. You can also reach us on our toll-free numbers as shown on your screen. Thank you for watching. Join us again, same time next week for another insightful episode of Corruption Must Go. Happy Workers' Day to all Nigerian workers. Bye for now.